Continuing our journey in the Loire Valley of France in this series covering many of the great palaces and mansions in this beautiful region to the west of Paris. On to Chambord, the finest of all the chateaux in the Loire and the largest. It's the Chateau to end all chateaux, a masterpiece. Perhaps the greatest architectural triumph the French Renaissance ever produced. You'll definitely find that it's worth going inside, although a majority of visitors don't do that. They just look at it from the outside, take a picture, maybe they're on a bus tour or driving, and they move on. But we'll show you what they are missing. The first thing you'll see inside is one of the main architectural highlights, a spectacular double spiral staircase that's the centerpiece of the chateau. It forms a double helix with two intertwined flights of steps ascending 3 floors without ever meeting. This grand staircase rises through the center of the building, providing direct access to all the main halls of each floor. There are suggestions that Leonardo da Vinci may have played a role in designing the staircase, but this has not been confirmed, even though he lived in the region and was supported by the king who built the chateau, Francois I. This giant palace was meant to be a hunting lodge, not a primary residence, and yet it grew bigger and bigger over its period of construction. Ironically, King Francis only stayed here for a total of about 7 weeks during his entire reign. Construction began in 1519, but was interrupted by war and dwindling royal funds and some difficulties in laying the foundations. So the building resumed in 1526, and for the next 12 years, 1,800 workers were employed full-time building the chateau. This is a dream place to visit, 156 meters long, 117 wide, and 56 meters tall, with 426 rooms, 77 staircases, 282 fireplaces, more than 800 sculpted columns, and with massive towers at each corner. It's second in size only to the Château of Versailles, making this one of the great national monuments of the country. While walking up, we encountered a bizarre scene, a crowd of costume characters right out of the 16th century. The chateau has been described as looking like something right out of a historical movie, and here it was in person, a movie production. We kept walking up the spiral staircase and soon came out on the rooftop. The view seems like a strange fairy tale village up in the air. It's been called more like the spires of a city than the points of a single building. Sculptured chimneys and bold buttresses, which are another architectural triumph of this great monument. Chambord is one of the most recognizable chateaux in the world because of its distinctive French Renaissance architecture, which blends its traditional French medieval forms with the classical Renaissance structures, heavily influenced by the Italian style. As part of your visit, be sure to have a look at the 3D movie room on the ground floor. It provides a virtual visit to the chateau using computer animation, really giving you a fantastic insight into the chateau's construction and architecture. As we were leaving, we saw a few of the actors out there relaxing and being interviewed, part of this major historical movie production. Chateaux in the 16th century were stylistically similar to castles, with some common features such as a keep, corner towers, and surrounded by a moat, but they really did not provide any serious defenses. It was more for show and comfort. This chateau was never intended to provide any form of protection from enemies. Some elements of the architecture are borrowed from Italian Renaissance architecture. Heating this building was impractical because of the massive rooms, open windows, and high ceilings. And similarly, the chateau was not surrounded by any village, and so there was no source of food other than the wild game. So all the food had to be brought in with the group, which could have been as many as 2,000 people. The chateau was just not feasible to occupy on a long-term basis, especially because it was constructed with the purpose of only short stays for hunting to begin with. Francois Premier began the era of modern France, the great age of the Renaissance and Reformation, when other important sovereigns lived, including Pope Leo X, Emperor Charles V, Henry VIII, and Sultan Suleiman. After Francis died in 1547, the building of Chambord was continued by his son, Henry II, but neither he nor his successors ever completed it. Our series about the Châteaux of the Loire is also bringing you to Chenonceau, Cheverny, Azay, and Blois, and a few other places, with our home base in the city of Tours. Have a look at our YouTube channel and our website for more movies about this beautiful region and many videos about the rest of France.